Let's continue your AWS Certified Solutions Architect Associate, SAA-C03, preparation. You're on episode 9 of 15 in this Get It Done Certified playlist, covering questions 81 through 90. Question 81. An application runs on Amazon EC2 instances in private subnets. The application needs to access an Amazon DynamoDB table. What is the most secure way to access the table while ensuring that the traffic does not leave the AWS network? Option A. Use a VPC endpoint for DynamoDB. Option B. Use a NAT gateway in a public subnet. Option C. Use a NAT instance in a private subnet. Option D. Use the Internet gateway attached to the VPC. The correct answer is A. Use a VPC endpoint for DynamoDB. Explanation. A VPC endpoint enables secure, private connectivity to DynamoDB without traversing the Internet. Why not option B? NAT gateway routes traffic through the Internet. Why not option C? NAT instance also uses public Internet routes and adds maintenance overhead. Why not option D? Internet gateway exposes traffic to the public Internet, reducing security. Question 82. An entertainment company is using Amazon DynamoDB to store media metadata. The application is read-intensive and experiencing delays. The company does not have staff to handle additional operational overhead and needs to improve the performance efficiency of DynamoDB without reconfiguring the application. What should a solutions architect recommend to meet this requirement? Option A. Use Amazon ElastiCache for Redis. Option B. Use Amazon DynamoDB Accelerator DAX. Option C. Replicate data by using DynamoDB Global Tables. Option D. Use Amazon ElastiCache for Memcached with Auto Discovery enabled. The correct answer is B. Use Amazon DynamoDB Accelerator DAX. Explanation. DAX provides a fully managed in-memory cache for DynamoDB that improves read performance with no code changes. Why not option A? ElastiCache for Redis requires code/config changes and doesn't integrate directly with DynamoDB. Why not option C? Global tables help with cross-region availability but not read latency within the same region. Why not option D? Memcached not integrated with DynamoDB and would require re-architecture. Question 83. A company's infrastructure consists of Amazon EC2 instances and an Amazon RDS DB instance in a single AWS region. The company wants to back up its data in a separate region. Which solution will meet these requirements with the least operational overhead? Option A. Use AWS Backup to copy EC2 backups and RDS backups to the separate region. Option B. Use Amazon Data Lifecycle Manager, Amazon DLM, to copy EC2 backups and RDS backups to the separate region. Option C. Create Amazon Machine Images, AMI, of the EC2 instances. Copy the AMIs to the separate region. Create a read replica for the RDS DB instance in the separate region. Option D. Create Amazon Elastic Block Store, Amazon EBS snapshots. Copy the EBS snapshots to the separate region. Create RDS snapshots. Export the RDS snapshots to Amazon S3. Configure S3 cross-region replication, CRR, to the separate region. The correct answer is A. Use AWS Backup to copy EC2 backups and RDS backups to the separate region. Explanation. AWS Backup provides centralized, automated backup management, and supports cross-region backup with minimal effort. Why not option B? Amazon DLM only supports EBS volumes, not RDS. Why not option C? AMIs and manual read replica, manual and adds complexity. Why not option D? EBS plus CRR, complicated and not integrated. CRR applies to S3, not snapshots. Question 84. A solutions architect needs to securely store a database username and password that an application uses to access an Amazon RDS DB instance. The application that accesses the database runs on an Amazon EC2 instance. The solutions architect wants to create a secure parameter in AWS Systems Manager Parameter Store. What should the solutions architect do to meet this requirement? Option A. Create an IAM role that has read access to the parameter store parameter. Allow decrypt access to an AWS Key Management Service, AWS KMS, key that is used to encrypt the parameter. Assign this IAM role to the EC2 instance. Option B. Create an IAM policy that allows read access to the parameter store parameter. Allow decrypt access to an AWS Key Management Service, AWS KMS key that is used to encrypt the parameter. Assign this IAM policy to the EC2 instance. Option C. Create an IAM trust relationship between the parameter store parameter and the EC2 instance. Specify Amazon RDS as a principal in the trust policy. Option D. Create an IAM trust relationship between the DB instance and the EC2 instance. Specify Systems Manager as a principal in the trust policy. The correct answer is A. Create an IAM role that has read access to the parameter store parameter. Allow decrypt access to an AWS Key Management Service, AWS KMS key that is used to encrypt the parameter. Assign this IAM role to the EC2 instance. Explanation. Using an IAM role with proper permissions ensures secure and automatic access to the encrypted parameter. Why not option B? IAM policy without role. IAM policies need to be attached to roles for EC2 access, not directly to EC2 instances. Why not option C? Trust relationship between parameter and EC2. IAM trust relationships don't work this way. Why not option D? IAM trust with DB instance. IAM roles are not assigned to DB instances for this purpose. Question 85. An application development team is designing a microservice that will convert large images to smaller, compressed images. When a user uploads an image through the web interface, the microservice should store the image in an Amazon S3 bucket, process and compress the image with an AWS Lambda function, and store the image in its compressed form in a different S3 bucket. Which combination of actions will meet these requirements? Choose 2. Option A. Create an Amazon Simple Queue service, Amazon SQS queue. Configure the S3 bucket to send a notification to the SQS queue when an image is uploaded to the S3 bucket. Option B. Configure the Lambda function to use the Amazon Simple Queue service, Amazon SQS queue as the invocation source. When the SQS message is successfully processed, delete the message in the queue. Option C. Configure the Lambda function to monitor the S3 bucket for new uploads. When an uploaded image is detected, write the file name to a text file in memory and use the text file to keep track of the images that were processed. Option D. Launch an Amazon EC2 instance to monitor an Amazon Simple Queue service, Amazon SQS queue. When items are added to the queue, log the file name in a text file on the EC2 instance and invoke the Lambda function. Option E. Configure an Amazon Event Bridge, Amazon Cloud Watch Events. Event to monitor the S3 bucket. When an image is uploaded, send an alert to an Amazon Simple Notification Service, Amazon SNS. Topic with the application owner's email address for further processing. The correct answers are A and B. Option A. Create an Amazon Simple Queue service, Amazon SQS queue. Configure the S3 bucket to send a notification to the SQS queue when an image is uploaded to the S3 bucket. Option B. Configure the Lambda function to use the Amazon Simple Queue service Amazon SQS queue as the invocation source. When the SQS message is successfully processed, delete the message in the queue. Explanation. SQS plus Lambda provides a durable, serverless mechanism to queue and process image uploads automatically. Why not option C, writing file names to memory, not durable or scalable? Why not option D, EC2 for monitoring, adds unnecessary infrastructure? Why not option E, event bridge to SNS and email, not suitable for automated processing workflows? Question 86. A company is developing a marketing communications service that targets mobile app users. The company needs to send confirmation messages with short message service, SMS, to its users. The users must be able to reply to the SMS messages. The company must store the responses for a year for analysis. Option A. Create an Amazon Connect contact flow to send the SMS messages. Use AWS Lambda to process the responses. Option B. Build an Amazon Pinpoint journey. Configure Amazon Pinpoint to send events to an Amazon Kinesis data stream for analysis and archiving. Option C. Use Amazon Simple Queue service, Amazon SQS, to distribute the SMS messages. Use AWS Lambda to process the responses. Option D. Create an Amazon Simple Notification Service, Amazon SNS, FIFO topic. Subscribe an Amazon Kinesis data stream to the SNS topic for analysis and archiving. The correct answer is B. Build an Amazon Pinpoint journey. Configure Amazon Pinpoint to send events to an Amazon Kinesis data stream for analysis and archiving. Explanation. Amazon Pinpoint supports two-way SMS with integration to Kinesis for long-term event analysis and storage. Why not option A, Amazon Connect, not designed for SMS message workflows? Why not option C, SQS for SMS? SQS cannot directly send or receive SMS messages. Why not option D, SNS FIFO plus Kinesis? SNS does not support bidirectional SMS and FIFO isn't relevant here. Question 87. A company wants to improve its ability to clone large amounts of production data into a test environment in the same AWS region. The data is stored in Amazon EC2 instances on Amazon Elastic Block Store, Amazon EBS, volumes. Modifications to the clone data must not affect the production environment. The software that accesses this data requires consistently high I/O performance. Option A. Take EBS snapshots of the production EBS volumes. Restore the snapshots onto EC2 instance store volumes in the test environment. Option B. Configure the production EBS volumes to use the EBS multi-attach feature. Take EBS snapshots of the production EBS volumes. Attach the production EBS volumes to the EC2 instances in the test environment. Option C. Take EBS snapshots of the production EBS volumes. Create and initialize new EBS volumes. Attach the new EBS volumes to EC2 instances in the test environment before restoring the volumes from the production EBS snapshots. Option D. Take EBS snapshots of the production EBS volumes. Turn on the EBS Fast Snapshot Restore feature on the EBS snapshots. Restore the snapshots into new EBS volumes. Attach the new EBS volumes to EC2 instances in the test environment. The correct answer is D. Take EBS snapshots of the production EBS volumes. Turn on the EBS Fast Snapshot Restore feature on the EBS snapshots. Restore the snapshots into new EBS volumes. Attach the new EBS volumes to EC2 instances in the test environment. Explanation: Fast Snapshot Restore accelerates access to data on restored volumes, meeting the performance and cloning needs. Why not option A? Instant store volumes are ephemeral and unsuitable for cloned persistent data. Why not option B? Multi-attach doesn't clone, also introduces risk of data corruption across environments. Why not option C? Manual initialization, slower and lacks high performance without fast restore. Question 88. A company needs to export its database once a day to Amazon S3 for other teams to access. The exported object size varies between 2 GB and 5 GB. The S3 access pattern for the data is variable and changes rapidly. The data must be immediately available and must remain accessible for up to 3 months. The company needs the most cost-effective solution that will not increase retrieval time. Option A: S3 Intelligent Tiering. Option B: S3 Glacier Instant Retrieval. Option C: S3 Standard. Option D: S3 Standard Infrequent Access, S3 Standard IA. The correct answer is A. S3 Intelligent Tiering. Explanation: Intelligent tiering automatically optimizes storage cost without impacting access latency, ideal for unpredictable access patterns. Why not option B? Glacier Instant Retrieval, higher retrieval costs and not optimal for frequent access. Why not option C? S3 Standard, always available but more expensive than intelligent tiering for variable access. Why not option D? S3 Standard IA, lower cost but incurs retrieval fees and has a minimum storage duration charge. Question 89. A company has 700 TB of backup data stored in Network Attached Storage (NAS) in its data center. This backup data needs to be accessible for infrequent regulatory requests and must be retained 7 years. The company has decided to migrate this backup data from its data center to AWS. The migration must be complete within 1 month. The company has 500 Mbps of dedicated bandwidth on its public internet connection available for data transfer. Option A: order AWS Snowball devices to transfer the data. Use a lifecycle policy to transition the files to Amazon S3 Glacier Deep Archive. Option B: deploy a VPN connection between the data center and Amazon VPC. Use the AWS CLI to copy the data from on-premises to Amazon S3 Glacier. Option C: provision a 500 Mbps AWS Direct Connect connection and transfer the data to Amazon S3. Use a lifecycle policy to transition the files to Amazon S3 Glacier Deep Archive. Option D: use AWS Data Sync to transfer the data and deploy a data sync agent on premises. Use the data sync task to copy files from the on-premises NAS storage to Amazon S3 Glacier. The correct answer is A. Order AWS Snowball devices to transfer the data. Use a lifecycle policy to transition the files to Amazon S3 Glacier Deep Archive. Explanation: Snowball enables large-scale, fast offline transfers ideal for completing 700 TB in under a month, and Glacier Deep Archive offers low-cost, long-term storage. Why not option B? VPN plus CLI. 700 TB over 500 Mbps would exceed 30-day window. Why not option C? Direct connect. Would take time to provision and is costlier. Why not option D? Data sync over internet. Transfer rate would be too slow to meet the timeline. Question 90. A company has an AWS account used for software engineering. The AWS account has access to the company's on-premises data center through a pair of AWS Direct Connect connections. All non-VPC traffic routes to the virtual private gateway. A development team recently created an AWS Lambda function through the console. The development team needs to allow the function to access a database that runs in a private subnet in the company's data center. Option A. Configure the Lambda function to run in the VPC with the appropriate security group. Option B. Set up a VPN connection from AWS to the data center. Route the traffic from the Lambda function through the VPN. Option C. Update the route tables in the VPC to allow the Lambda function to access the on-premises data center through Direct Connect. Option D. Create an elastic IP address. Configure the Lambda function to send traffic through the elastic IP address without an elastic network interface. The correct answer is A. Configure the Lambda function to run in the VPC with the appropriate security group. Explanation. Running Lambda in the VPC allows it to route traffic through Direct Connect to access on-premises resources securely. Why not option B? VPN connection. Unnecessary since Direct Connect is already available. Why not option C? Update route tables. Route tables only apply if the function runs in the VPC. Why not option D? Elastic IP. Not applicable to Lambda functions which don't use EIPs directly. Thanks for joining this practice session. If you like this format, follow the channel and share it with colleagues who might be taking this certification as well. Keep practicing with the next episode in the playlist.